Sabha Dhanam Dhamma Dhanam Jinati Sabha Rasam Dhamma Rasam Jinati Sabha Rate Dhamma Rate Jinati Tanakayo Sabha Dukha Jinati. The Buddha uttered this stanza while residing at Jetawana Vihara in Savatthi. At one night, the Sakadeva Raja in Devas came to see the Buddha. Then the Sakadeva Raja asked the questions, because in the Taotensa heaven, at a meeting, the Devas discussed one matter. They could not solve the problems. So they went to see the Sakadeva Raja, the king of Devas. He also could not solve the problems. That's why Sakadeva Raja in Devas came to see the Buddha. Sakadeva Raja, the king of Devas, asked the Buddha, Venerable Sir, among the gifts, which is the best? Among the tastes, which is the best? Among delights, which is the best? Why is the eradication of clinging said to be the most excellent? These are the questions put by Sakadeva Raja. That's why the Buddha answered, Sabha Dhanam Dhamma Dhanam Jinati. The gift of the Dhamma excels all gifts. The taste of the Dhamma excels all the tastes. The Dhamma and the delight excels all delights. The eradication of craving overcomes all ills. This is the answers the Buddha gave. In our human society, we give gifts. When we are invited for housewarming ceremony or wedding ceremony, the birthday party, many occasions, we receive gifts. We also give our friends the gifts. These gifts we cannot keep all the time. We cannot use it all the time. Sometimes you may give to your near and dear ones the most precious gifts, maybe ruby or other expensive things. You cannot use it all the time. In your lifetime, you may use it. When you died, you have to leave it. Some other things, if the gifts are not so expensive, you may not care. these gifts are not excellent. What the Buddha answers, the gift of the Dhamma is excellent. Why the gift of the Dhamma is excellent? When you have the gift of the dana, charity, you have better life. Let's say you perform charity, you do dana, offer food, even one spoonful of rice, if you offer to the Sangha, this is a gift of dana. You can be reborn in the Deva world. You can be reborn in the human beings world. You can get benefits, 5 benefits. You can live long. You can be beautiful. Then you can be happy, sukha. You can have strength. Then you can have wisdom. You can have these benefits because you perform dana, the gift of dana. If you take precepts, you can be healthy. You also can have better life in the Deva world or human beings. If you practice meditation, you can get concentration, you can have wisdom. So these are the gift of the Dhamma. Not only this life you can use. So when you have the gift of the Dhamma, if you know how to use it wisely, you can be liberated. You cannot be reborn in the 4 apayas. That's why the Buddha answered, the gift of the Dhamma excels all the gifts. Now, our Tathagata Meditation Centre committee members arrange retreats about 4 times a year, maybe more than 4 times. So when they arrange retreats, our practitioners have the chance to practice meditation. When you come here for the practice, you have the chance to see the monks, Samana Ninja Dasana, seeing the, virtuous person is highest blessing. Samana Ninja Dasana Ita Mingala Motama. Then you hear the Dhamma from the virtuous person. I have explained Satama Sawana Ati Tonava. Hearing the Dhamma is rare opportunity. So you have the chance to hear the Dhamma from the virtuous person. When you hear the Dhamma, you learn something from the teachings of the Buddha. Practice meditation, we can get benefits, how to be mindful on the mind and body, how to develop the wisdom, how to develop the concentration. So according to your effort, according to your practice, you can gain something inside knowledge. If your parami is enough, if your practice is enough, even during this lifetime, you can attain enlightenment. When you attain enlightenment, you cut off samsara. What do we understand samsara? endless life cycles. When you attained enlightenment, the first stage of enlightenment, Sotapatti Magaphala, you cut off samsara. Only 7 lifetimes you are going to be reborn in a good place, not in the netherworld. You will never be reborn in the apaya world, awful state. You will never be reborn. So that's why the Dhamma gift is the excels, most precious gift. Now you are receiving most precious gifts. Sabba Dhamma, Dhamma Dhamma, Jinati. Sabba Rasa, Dhamma Rasa, Jinati. What the Buddha answered. Among the tastes, which is the best? Sakadeva Raja asked. The Buddha answered, the taste of the Dhamma excels all the tastes. It is quite difficult to understand unless you experience with your mindfulness. But you haven't practiced meditation yet. When you listen the Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha, carefully, pay attention to the talk closely, you might feel something. You pay close attention. When you pay close attention to the talk, you won't remember any other things about your work, about your family or friend, other things, because you pay close attention, you listen carefully. In the talk, always mention, if you listen about the meditation, how to be mindful, how to note, how you could understand, how you develop concentration, how you develop insights. So in this way, you might be your mind at peace. So at the moment, you won't have any, the unpleasant feelings in your mind, unwise feelings in your mind at peace. How should I say? The defilements. No, defilement is very hot. So no defilements in your mind. So when you understand the Dhamma, then you practice meditation. After listening to Dhamma talk, it should practice meditation because we can get the benefits, purification of the beings, for the overcoming of sorrow and lamentation, this and that. Should practice meditation, then we can be liberated. So you come practice meditation. When you practice meditation, you cannot taste the Dhamma immediately. What do you taste first? What do you taste first? Pain here, pain there, you have experienced. You taste first. What? Bitter taste, not the sweet taste first. You sit still, back pain, pencil needle pain, backache, headache, sufferings. But you listen the instruction given by the Buddha. The Buddha taught, put forth effort. You do not give up easily. You bite your teeth when the pain rises. When the pain gets so strong, you do not give up. You won't give up. I will note it. I will note it until I complete for 1 hour. I won't give up. Just pain arises after 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I won't give up. I won't change. So you encourage yourself. Then note it. So when you complete for 1 hour, even though there is pain, you might have confidence. I thought to myself, I would not sit for 1 hour completely. Now I have sat for 1 hour completely. So in this way you have confidence. The following sittings, you won't be so painful, very challenging with the pain. So you won't give up. In this way, you are able to sit for 1 hour, then you can cope with the pain, you can manage. The pain doesn't disappear, but you can manage. At the beginning, the pain affects your mind. Your mind is so sensitive. After 15 minutes, you want to change another side. Then after 5 minutes, you change the other way. So change very so restless. Now you do not change the position. You do not give up immediately. You are patient with the pain. So in this way you have confidence. When you experience pain disappear, you might be happy. Then you have confidence. Then you note the rising falling. At the beginning you could not note. Later you could note the rising falling. You are so happy noting the rising falling closely. Just you understand the rising falling, the clear part of rising and falling, the middle part of the rising and falling. Slowly you develop your mindfulness. When you have developed your mindfulness, with strong mindfulness, you can catch the beginning. You won't purposely watch beginning of the rising, but you can catch. You can catch the middle part, you can catch end of the rising, the beginning of the falling, the middle of the falling, end of the falling. You won't purposely watch it. According to your mindfulness, power of mindfulness, you can catch it. How the abdomen rises, how abdomen the falls ends, you experience. In this way, you would delight with your practice. So I would say your mind in the delight. You won't get boring when you practice meditation. Otherwise, lazy, boredom arise. So the taste of the Dhamma is the best. Taste of the Dhamma is the best. You may not experience at the moment, but if you trying to follow the instruction, the instruction also very easy. Only 2 things. Atapa, putting forth effort. You have listened many times. I also have to remind many times because it is so important. So important. Even though we are reminded all the time, we are still forgetful. Or when you get up, you forget to note getting up. When you sit down, you forget to note sitting down. So we are very forgetful. We are like, how to say, elephant. Have you ever seen elephant? The elephant trainer touch the elephant's ear all the time. Elephant trainer sit on the head of the elephant. Then remind the elephant touching ears so that the elephant would notice there is somebody on my head. Otherwise the elephant forget. They might kill the elephant trainer. So we are also reminded all the times, Apamadena, Sambadeta, be mindful on the 5 aggregates, don't forget. Even then, we are still forgetful. Forget to note. Is it true or not? You can check yourself. When you come for interview, do you carry the mindfulness? When you sit down, do you carry the mindfulness? When you pay respect or bow down, are you mindful? Still forgetful. I saw yogis. Some yogis, they carry mindfulness. So, when we are in the practice, we feel delight. Noting everything closely, you won't get lazy, you won't be boring. Noting, watching closely, even you have confidence. You want to watch in details. At the beginning of the practice, even we cannot note one step, right step, left step. If you could follow the footstep closely, you would feel, I could note the footstep closely. I want to increase 2 steps noting. Why you want to note 2 steps noting, 1 step noting, not in detail. Not in detail. So when you note 2 steps, you have to put more effort. Otherwise, you could not note lifting, placing. We are so forgetful. So when you note 2 steps, you have to put your effort, double effort. Then you can catch right step and lifting, placing, lifting, placing. When you note 3 steps, you are more careful in your footstep. Also, your manner also become very gentle. Move slowly, noting very mindfully. You have to be patient. Otherwise, not necessary to note too slow. Never mind, I will just note right step, left step. Walking, stepping is enough. You may think. So when you note 3 steps, you have very strong mindfulness. Then because you want to watch all part of movement closely. So in the lifting, I notice the rise and fade away, many stages in the lifting, many stages movement in the pushing forward, many stages in the placing down, I notice. In this way, even though you practice walking meditation for 1 hour, you won't get boring. You are delighted by your mindfulness. You delight in your practice. When you practice sitting meditation, you won't get bored, because you could catch all whatever arises in the body. At the beginning, even rising, falling, you will not catch closely. Now, not only rising and falling, when you are noting rising, falling, sometimes you might notice your breathing. Sometimes when you are noting the rising, falling, you might notice there is warmness in your hand, sometimes itchiness on your face, sometimes stiffness on your back, sometimes many sensations on your body. Something, the insects crawling on your body. You may check, is it insect on my body? So when you touch, no insects, no ants on your face, just element, maybe air element, or your awareness, your mindfulness getting stronger, so you could catch not only the rising, falling, so many things you are aware, so many things you can be noted. You can be noted because your mindfulness, power of mindfulness is getting stronger and stronger. In this way, we delight in our practice. The delight of the Dhamma exhales all the delight. All I and jump over. The taste. So taste, the Buddha said, the taste of the Dhamma, excels. The same thing, if you understand the delight, the taste also is the same. Same. Because we are noting the rising, falling, all the five aggregates. Then eradication of cravings. Tanakhayo sabba dukkha, tanakhayo sabba dukkha jinati. The eradication of craving overcomes all illness. Tanha, we have listened many times, craving. We are enlightened ones, living in the sensual pleasure world. Sight, sound, smell, taste, you have heard many times, I have to repeat. Taste, touch, and thought. We like. We delight these senses. This is our enlightened one's nature. So we delight with craving. We do not know how eradication of craving overcomes all illness. So when we practice meditation according to our quality, we can be aware. At one time, Rahula, the Buddha's son, when the Buddha was 29, he left his family, he renounced, practiced meditation in Uruvela forest. Then, after attainment of his enlightenment, he was invited by his father to Kapilavatthu. So when he reached Kapilavatthu, Yasodhara saw the Buddha. Then he told his son Rahula, my son, the monk who was coming to the palace was your father. When he left, the gold pots disappeared. 4 gold pots, very big, disappeared. Now ask him to give these gold pots, because you are his son. So Rahula was very young, as the inheritance. The Buddha didn't have any properties. What he had, he just gave. So he ordained Rahula as a Samanera, novice monk. So novice monk, he was diligent and very wise young Samanera, very respectful to everybody, the senior monks. So one day, Rahula approached the Buddha. Then the Buddha taught him, Rahula, there are 2 kinds of elements. 2 kinds of elements, internal and external. Patavi, Avo, Tejo, Vayo. In our body, there are also 4 elements. Out of our body also there are 4 elements: earth element, water element, fire element, then wind element. 2 kinds of elements. A person who see clearly as they really are, that is, let's say the Patavi Dhatu, earth element. Earth element is not me, is not mine. One who has seeing clearly in this way, cut off craving. Cut off craving. So the Buddha taught to Rahula. So when we practice vipassana meditation, we can put with our own practice. We note rising, falling. We note sitting, touching. We note bending, stretching. We note sitting down, getting up. We note right step, left step. Whatever movement, according to the 4 foundations of mindfulness, we practice. Have we experienced the air element is not mine? The air element is not me? Have we experienced? If we have experienced, we cut off craving, tanha. So we note the rising, falling very closely. I have said many times because the Buddha also taught like this. Just now what the Buddha taught. The earth element is not me. It's not mine. So while we are noting the rising, falling, we may not feel clearly the earth element, but when we note sitting and touching, it's quite clear. Noting, sitting, and touching. Mostly we note the buttock touching on the floor. When we note it closely, we might feel or we might notice something in the touching area. There is hardness. When we note sitting, we may notice there is stiffness in our body, upper body upright, sit still, noting it very closely. Certainly, or some other time, we might be aware there is stiffness. Not just noting sitting, touching. If you just notice sitting, touching, you may not notice anything. That's why we are told, note it attentively and precisely, intelligently. So you may be aware at the beginning or touching spread all over the area, touching area. When the mind is concentrated, when the noting is getting stronger, only the touching point is so small in the area, then you might be aware there is hardness in the touching point. Then you might be aware in the ankle area there is hardness. So this is you notice. You don't need to say there is earth element in the touching point. Just you experience, you would simply say, I notice, when I note touching, I notice, I am aware there is hardness in the touching point. You would say that as you experience. Not necessary to say earth element or water element or fire element, not necessary to say. So when you notice it, you remove craving or attachment. It is my body, this is my hand, or this is my abdomen. You will not attach. You remove at the moment. You remove the attachment. So the Buddha said, if a person who discerns the earth element is not me, is not mine, has cut off craving. In the same way, you note other things. So, in this way, we can overcome all illness. So, Tathagata Sabba Dukkha Jinadi. At the who Tathagata Sabba Dukkha, the eradication of the craving, only the Arhat can eradicate Tanhas. We are enlightened ones at the moment. Our yogis are struggling to cut off Tanha, craving. Oh, you may say, I haven't cut off yet. Never mind, just go ahead, note it. But at least, we can taste the Dhamma. Noting the rising, falling, sitting, touching. The mind is so clear and so pure. Whenever you note, when the mind is concentrated, noting mind is concentrated, you delight in your practice. You won't get boring. Noting when you see the rising, falling, and noting it very closely, you don't want to get up sometimes, because you could note whatever arises in your body and mind. If we could not know the present object, our mind becomes restless. We may check the clock to complete 1 hour. This shows our mindfulness is not strong enough. We are not in the delight. We are not in our practice. Some yogis, when they practice meditation, they know they have already sat for 1 hour, but noting the present object, they could follow, they could note. That's why they feel very quiet, very happy. They don't want to get up. They want to continue their practice. Then some yogis, they practice easily for 1 hour. They could sit for 2 hours without changing. So when they practice walking meditation, they are so mindful, note everything. They could catch all parts of movement, lifting, pushing forward, placing. They don't want to stop walking. They want to continue. When they practice walking meditation, then they also feel the body is so light. Sometimes, even though they touch on the ground, they don't feel the ground is so hard. The soft movement, they may feel they are walking in the air. So in this way, yogis, they don't want to go back home. They want to practice meditation. That's why many yogis in Burma, when they enter the retreat, they want to practice just for 1 month or so. But when their meditation is good, they don't want to go back. They don't want to go back home. So, Sabba Rade, Dhamma Rade. And Sabba Rade, Dhamma Rade, Jinadi. The Buddha answered. Among tastes, the Dhamma taste is the best. The taste of the Dhamma excels all the tastes. Maybe a bit difficult to understand, but some yogis may experience, because I saw many yogis practice meditation diligently. They make their effort here, but still need to be mindful more in daily activities. Sitting meditation, when I check, they could sit straight and they could sit very well And when they practice walking meditation, I think they still need to be mindful. When you practice walking meditation, you should not look around trying to keep your eyes down. You should not bend your head too low. You would have headache. Then note right step, left step. At the beginning of the walking meditation, you may walk a bit faster, walking, or stepping, about 10 or 15 minutes. After that, slow down and try to note 1, 2, 3 steps closely. But maybe, how should I say? Just I would say simply, you still need to put more effort in your walking meditation. Sitting meditation, when I check, you can practice well in walking meditation and try to put more effort. Don't look at anywhere. If you look at somewhere, your mind goes somewhere. Then when you look somewhere, then you can catch the objects and put in your mind. When you sit, you may recall, then you will not concentrate. That's why the walking meditation, try to be more mindful than what the Buddha taught. The taste of the Dhamma, you will experience. The delight of the Dhamma, you experience. If we delight in the Dhamma, we have good friend. Even though you are alone, you do not talk to anybody, you have a good friend. This good friend is the Dhamma. You won't get boring. You can be alone. Otherwise, we always trying to find a second person, because living alone is boring. That's why some people say to be a monk, to be a nun is boring, because they always live in the room. They do not go anywhere. Boring. I don't like to be a monk, to be a nun, they say, because I encourage sometimes yogis to be a nun or to be a monk. No, I don't want, because I live alone. Boring, they say. No. So if we really experience the Dhamma is the 4 elements, the 5 aggregates, the 8 noble paths, we really happy. We won't get boring. So to taste the Dhamma, we have to listen what the Buddha taught. To eradicate the craving, we have to try very hard. According to our parami, we can attain enlightenment in this life. So, if I want to say in conclusion, that among the gifts, the Dhamma gift is the best. Among taste, the taste of the Dhamma is the best. Among delight, the delight of the Dhamma is the best. The eradication of the craving excels and overcomes all ills. That's why the Buddha, as soon as our Buddha enlightened, became the Buddha, he was so happy. Then he expressed his happiness. Aneka jati sansara, sandha vaisa anepisa, kahakaran kawe santo, dukha jati puna. As soon as he attained enlightenment, he expressed this stanza: I, who have seeking the builder of house is the body, this khanda, suffered because I haven't seen the builder of the house. The builder of the house means tanha. Tanha. Because of the tanha, because of the craving, we suffered. Because of the, let's say, tanha is the wanting or craving. So wanting for sights, wanting for sound, wanting for smells, wanting for taste, wanting for touch, wanting for thoughts. So because of this tanha, we are reborn again and again. When we are reborn again and again, we are old again and again. When we are old again and again, we die again and again. Is that true? True. When you learn Tathagata Bodhana, what say? Jatipi dukkha, jarapi dukkha, maranampi dukkha, yampechana labadi dampi dukkha, sankhedena panchupadana khanda dukkha, and the Tathagata Bodhana Sutta, the Buddha's first Samma Dhamma talk. Birth is suffering. Aging is suffering. Death is suffering. After death, what? Sorrow, lamentation, dukkha, pain, grief, successive distress, or suffering. Then what? Piyehi, vipyoga dukkha. Piyehi, vipyoga dukkha. Separation with the light is suffering. Association with dislike is suffering. Not to get what one wishes is suffering. Then sankhedena panchupadana khanda dukkha. In short, the clinging of five aggregates are suffering. Clinging of five aggregates are suffering because of the clinging. Clinging is the upadana, craving. So these are suffering. So he said, I who have seeking for the builder of the house suffered a lot. He could not find the builder, that is tanha. Now I have attained enlightenment. I became the Buddha. I know everything with my practice. Now this builder, tanha, cannot build my house to be reborn again. The Buddha taught, as long as he attained enlightenment. So that's why the Buddha also wanted beings to be liberated from the suffering. That's why with, Mahakaruna, great compassion, he taught the Dhamma for how many years? 45 years. 45 years. Without resting much, just rested a few hours, just about 1 or 2 hours. Daytime to the bhikkhus and lay people, lay devotees. Nighttime, just now I said to the Sakadeva Raja and Devas. At night, the middle of the night, Devas, they came to the human beings' world to see the Buddha, and they asked the questions. Why they came at night? Because the human beings' smell is very, very bad smell. They could not get it. So at night they came. So eradication of the craving is most important. Now when we practice vipassana meditation, our aim also to eradicate the cravings. So may you be well and happy. May you be able to practice meditation ardently and energetically. Then may you understand the Dhamma and cut off the craving very soon.